Outlaws of Thunder Junction is a really deep set. There's a lot going on, and I, I'm not saying we just scratched the surface, but there's just definitely a lot of cards to get to, and I have had a lot of questions about Kaervek the Punisher, a card that like I really did not think was going to be that playable. We got to talk about grief a little bit. I think it's kind of nice where you get to having a 0 mana proactive card to exile with Kaervek is pretty nice. Let me go and read this card. So this is another 3 mana 3/3 crime generator. This card is not as good as Free Starter Lookout in my opinion, but in this deck I think it's just a little bit too hard to splash that card, and also kind of have to play Bobble with that card. But whenever you commit a crime, exile up to one target black card from your graveyard and copy it. You may cast a copy. If you do, lose 2 life. So cast your best spell in your graveyard is pretty good. The thing with Kaervek is that you mostly have to untap with it for it to be good, or you play it on turn 4 with a mana up, which is a little sus, but after some playtesting, some more thinking, it just is a lot more reasonable to have this 3-drop that you're trying to untap with in a deck that's playing a lot of Undying effects, and in a deck that's playing a lot of discard spells to kind of clear the way. And just also kind of simply put, the crime cards are really good. It's just really easy to commit a lot of crimes in Modern and trigger these cards over and over and over again. That being said, Caustic Bronco was like kind of the real card I wanted to try out, kind of looking towards like this mono black shell here. Um, Another card that I kind of just like didn't think was going to end up being very good because we've seen a lot of these like Dark Confidant variants. But this one is actually good. It's like Dark Confidant, but it has 2 toughness, and also can sometimes deal your opponent the damage instead of dealing you the damage. 2 mana 2/2. Whenever it attacks, reveal the top card of your library, put it into your hand, lose life equals the card's mana value. But if it's saddled, so you have to tap any number of other creatures with 3 power more, your opponent loses that life. And the deck is pretty good at saddling between Dauthi Voidwalker, Grieve. Sometimes you have Bowmaster with that kind of ping in. Um, and saddling ends up, I think, being pretty nice. There's actually like a pretty cool tension, I think, where you're like, well, I could attack, and then I could maybe play the card I draw, or I could play my creature and saddle, then you just get them with the damage. But Bronco's been pretty good. The quality of true drops is pretty high. Kaervek is kind of nice top end card advantage engine. It's nice that this build has a lower mana curve than the version with Sheoldred and the Ring, which is something I definitely like a lot. Hive the Eye Tyrant is also a crime committer in addition to the fields and stuff. Um, Someone missed a memo that Punisher mechanic is never good. Punisher mechanic? Sheoldred's Edict is kind of a Punisher mechanic. Punisher mechanic is good sometimes. This is not often very good, but sometimes sometimes giving your opponent choice is just fine. But this where are we giving our opponent a choice? Let's go give this one a keep. Only 2 spells. We have Sunken Citadel plus Field. Suppose, yeah. I kind of figured, but you never know. But yeah, it's like Dark Confidant is just so far like removed from being playable. I was like, yeah, I don't know who do we even want to try like this improved version. But yeah, it's enough improved, I think. How do you think Bob would be if it had 2 toughness? If Bob had 2 toughness, it might still be worse than Bronco. Because what's nice about Bob is you can like play defense with it, or like just not have to attack to get the card. But the saddle is like surprisingly good. But it would like likely be somewhat playable. Okay, I thought they were about to miss their second land drop here. Watery Grave, Scalding Tarn. Did I pick out these specific Ixalan slabs? Yeah, I know. I really like them in mono black decks because you can't confuse them for islands, and I think they look really good. But I agree they look a little blue. Interesting. Maybe I should have already fielded. We're up against Glimpse combo. That's gonna be interesting. If we could draw a discard a spell, that would be super nice. That would be super duper nice, so that we could just cast like an Emrakul off our Dauthi Voidwalker here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just channel Takenuma and try to find a grief here to pitch. Because that, yeah, this is gonna be my like only chance, I think, to like really beat the glimpse here. Too bad I can't like at least ping the Splant token. Did you have troll the deck and cut it? Not in this build. I think you could try to build a Bronco deck with Cottage and Troll, and it's something I would be not opposed to working on, but it's also not something I'm I don't think you need to be able to blast your opponent for like 6 or 12 or something for Bronco to be good. So I'm just not that pressed. Okay, good thing this deck can still just brick really hard. They are playing a bigger version. They're playing Halo Forger. Nice that Voidwalker's stopping that. Did they float? Didn't they float a mana or did they not? Okay, they also revealed a forest, so we know that they have at least one more basic for field. Are they going to suspend? They do suspend a glimpse. A lot going on here. This has Menace. Double Bowmaster. Okay. I'm thinking about glimpsing myself here. I'm thinking about going Bowmaster, cast Glimpse. Sounds so fun. And if I could hit a grief, it's a big deal. This could go really poorly. I don't know. Let's enjoy ourselves today, huh? It's a little bit too fun to be wrong. I agree. Okay, I hit no lands, but I did hit 2 Bowmasters and 2 Griefs and a Kaervek, and I get to commit the crime, and I get to fatal push a Shardless Agent. Let's go, dude! What a this is so cool. So I'm gonna kill one agent with my pings, and I'm committing so many crimes. You know, one very nice thing about Kaervek, or although maybe in this spot annoying, is that Kaervek doesn't actually is not actually limited to once a turn. Happy first game of the day. Let's go, dude. Oh no, their hand is awful. So I think I take Atraxa and 1 with the multiverse, since like these are more relevant cards for them to play off of an Omniscience if they find an Omniscience, and otherwise they're going to be pretty dead. Where are my lands? I cast my opponent's Glimpse of Tomorrow with a Dauthi Voidwalker, and I hit a lot of permanents, but none of them are lands. Funny. I'm gonna bring in these Tourachs. I think I'm gonna bring in the Sheoldreds. Mostly just because I got a lot of dead removal spells. I mean, Sudden Edict is better than Sheoldred's Edict. Neither are going to be very good. I guess Sheoldred's Edict could, like, if they have like a token and an Emrakul, I can make them sec the Emrakul instead. Don't really want to have either. Ashiok on the draw is pretty bad. They do have Halo Forager, so I guess I'll just go down like I'll play 2 Edicts and I'll play the first Hearse. Maybe I should play 2 Hearses over the second Cling. I'll get those 2 Clings. Well, this hand would be really good if I had a land that could just tap for black. This hand could be good if I had a land at all. Should I go to 4? My opponent's on 5. Put back the Sheoldred. I kind of want to keep the Undying Evil over the Kaervek. Let's keep the Kaervek. Those CD rings? Yeah, no rings in this build. I know it's kind of weird, right? But I think that okay. I think that with the Kaerveks and the Broncos, like you have a lot of card advantage, and you're just kind of incentivized to play a lower mana curve, a more aggressive deck than the rings kind of want you to play. If that makes sense. I'm just gonna Bowmaster this turn. I don't exactly expect that my opponent is gonna be just wanting to glimpse with 3 permanents. Maybe they will, and if they do, you know, I don't think that's like the worst outcome for us anyways. Yeah. I mean, Leyline of Sanctity is pretty good against us, but... oh, this Glimpse deck is always so funny, huh? Maybe I've played that's just cast the Tourach, but... I think I'm supposed to just go after the land. I actually probably could have attacked with the Orc and gotten in the damage. Maybe the upside just isn't there. This is each opponent also, so it gets through Leyline. Did have to double check that. Ambitious attack. We'll see if it pays off. Do you have a land? No land. You can go for the Bronco. I can saddle the Bronco with Kaervek next turn. Alright, they're getting in. There's 3 more turns with the Ardent play. And they find a land. Saddling. This is 5 plus the Bronco. Bowmaster dealing them 2. So we put it down to 12. So we go Tourach plus Bowmaster to saddle next turn. Maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'd have to hit a grief to just win. So this is a crime, but I don't actually have a target for the for the Cling. They have no cards in the graveyard, so I don't think I am supposed to crime here. All right, weird first match. Yeah, I wasn't counting the Bowmaster to their face for damage there. Unlucky. Makeshift Reaper, 47 months. Last sub before Mage 3. Hell yeah. Alright, nobody else sub. Until Mage 3. Okay, going to match 2. Kind of smooth sailing. The game 1, casting Arm Glimpse was so sick. A lot of prowess lately. Well, this could still be like Domain Zoo of some kind. Does it say each? Yeah, I can't remember if it says each or if it targets. You know, it's the kind of stuff that just kind of happens automatically until until it matters. But we can double check. You know, I'm just not sure. We'll figure it out. I think I can wait on a discard effect here. Each opponent. Okay, never mind. So does not ever commit a crime. I guess this is kind of bad into Lava Dart. Thankfully, they don't dart us here. Sunken Citadel, quietly the best card from Ixalan. I don't know about quietly. I think it is. It was definitely my favorite card from that set. There's a lot of good cards in that set. Kind of nice to make them play the land before iterating here. Yeah, just like the chat box is slightly off. There's a Lava Dart. I need to do this more often. I need to just be F6. I need to be F6'd until the blocker step. Just in case this like incentivizes them to mutagenic growth or dart or like go a little bit more in than they otherwise would. I do this against Titans sometimes. Like they cast Titan, I F6, hover over the so that's a good draw. I like F6 and I hover over the um turn off auto yields button to like bluff that I have no interaction. It's kind of like in paper, like feigning that you have nothing with physical tells. Okay, opponent, remember when you had spells in your hand? Me neither. Right click till block step. Wait, really? Right click, yield until end step. You can right click the block step. Okay, so right click on block step. Yield until here. Wow. It's not that often I learn a new trick on Magic Online. So I don't really want to field because of the dart. Why did you wait on their turn to use Field of Ruin? Wouldn't it be better to use on your turn? I waited until their turn because they could have drawn their last basic for turn. Doing it on my turn would have played around dart better, so I do think it would have been better to do it on my turn. But that was the reason why I did it at that time. Also, did they already put the Gigantha in their hand? They definitely revealed Gigantha. Okay, now we can field. I think the green is just for pick your poison side. So we'll see if they have a extra mountain. They do. I want to do this so I can hold the swamp in hand. Maybe I should have draw stepped again. I don't remember them putting Gigantha in their hand, but I don't see it in the companion zone anymore. I'm gonna finish my caffeine. So put them to 2, although not out, or the 3 if they dart Bowmaster here. But then if I could just Takenuma back a Bowmaster, but I can't cast it this turn. Can read deck tech of a similar deck. I played this for 5-6 leagues, all possible finishes. Comparison notes, it's scamless unearthed build. Yeah, you can. If you have the channel points, you can. If you don't, I'll still take a look. They did okay. Yeah, just totally blanks for some reason. I'm kind of surprised they're attacking here. Because they have the darts. Could have something else. We'll maybe see it off of a grief. I'm going to go ahead and channel this Takenuma. Okay, tech for Dogfish. So 2 Broncos, 3 Kaervek, 3 Sheoldred, 1 Lily. If they have Bolt, the grief is. I mean, I guess Bolt is just gonna get everything, right? I think I'm supposed to grief here instead of playing the push. Excuse me? You held the bauble? Unearth, setting up Crime Chain, Cling as enabler. Yeah, Cling is good enabler. I'm playing 2 also. I know, the thing is, like, just kind of simply put, like, Grief Scam is, like, the best turn 1 play in Modern. It's just kind of like, you just should be playing it, I think. Sheoldred's Edict is also, I think, better than Bitter Triumph. I know this commits crime, but you just like, don't... Oh, you're playing 3-2? That's just too many removal spells, probably. And a little young. That's just too much, I think. Surprised you're only on 2 Broncos, also. I feel like Broncos just been, like, really good for me. I feel like I would just kind of love to, like, you're also only playing 22 lands and you have 3 Sheoldreds, so I'm kind of surprised. Like, I feel like I would just get all the Sheoldreds out of the main deck, play 2 Caustic Bronco. I also hate these Urborgs. I hate these Urborgs, dude. Like, Urborg has a really big downside in Modern of just like enabling your opponent's Cabal Coffers. That aside, if you don't care about that much, that's fine. That aside, Urborg is really bad in your Field of Ruin decks, where you're fielding them, and then all of a sudden you have an Urborg in play, and they can just hold their fetch lands for lands that tap for mana, instead of just running out of fetchables. Urborg really sucks. 3 Urborgs in a deck with no Cabal Coffers? and this is just mana fixing for exactly Dauthi Voidwalker on turn 2. I really really dislike this play. I would play no more than one, and I'm not even playing the first copy. What matchup am I playing? I'm playing against Prowess. I'm going to bring in the the Edicts and the Hearses here, and the Sheoldreds. I'm going to cut the Kaerveks, I think. I think we're cutting Bowmasters against the Lava Dart deck. Could also cut the Voidwalkers. They're blue red, so they have like a little bit more card draw. Thing is, this is kind of nice against their Underworld Breaches. We have the Hearses for that too. I'm gonna trim 1 and then cut 3 Bowmasters. Chrono Yogi, 15 months. Thank you. Welcome back. I also feel like you just want to play more Sunken Citadel. Citadel's really good. You don't have to play 4. But I'll play at least 2, probably 3. And I don't think these break the ices in the sideboard are that important when you have 8 fields. Can't really mulligan. Push plus Grief Scam despite just having a tap land. Force of Despair is cool. I would definitely like to, try out Force of Despair. I'd also probably not play the Third Inquisition. So yeah, a lot of loose thoughts. We've had 1 Grief Scam, yes, but what about second Grief Scam? Yeah, Grief is also really good with Kaervek, I think. It's like one of the best cards to pair with it. Yogi, 15 months, they go come back. They can't play because the Bauble Prowess trigger wasn't worth it on Hasted Soulscar. Oh, I just hit the Bowmasters and played, sorry. No, yeah, you're right. So if I Field of Ruin and they have, so I guess what I should do is I should Grief pitch Bowmaster. Could maybe try to Bowmaster the Voidwalker, but I want to try to double Grief Scam. And then if they have Lava Dart, I won't Field of Ruin, and if they do have Lava Dart, I will Field of Ruin. Or sorry, backwards. They have 2 Lava Darts, okay. So let's take the show off, and then if my opponent wants to Dart, Flashback Dart here, that's okay with me. How did Golgari Coffers go yesterday? Well, we were like 11-4 overall. We trophied. The league we trophied, we didn't lose a single game. I was definitely impressed. Trying a Rakdos Bronco list with Insatiable Avarice and 1 Shadow Morality Calibrated Horse. Insatiable Avarice is interesting in that kind of shell. This is on my to-do list for sure. So they Dart to try to get Delirium, they do get Delirium here. The Hearse can contain the Channeler, so I don't think I need to be too worried about this. And it is just such a disaster if they flashback the darts that I am not gonna field right now. So we get to take their Flame of Anor and hopefully another spell. Not another spell, unfortunately. That's okay. Not surprised to see this card. Down to 12. They drew a Soulscar Mage for turn. So I'm going to go ahead and cast this Hearse, and then I'm going to go main phase, exile, show off Preordain. Oh my gosh, I meant to target the Dart. I meant to target the Dart and bait the Dart flashback and then push the Soulscar Mage. I guess I'll just leave this back to block and then be able to push it as like a combat trick. But I meant to target the Dart. I just brain fired a little bit here, trying to get them off like two types for Delirium. And then I would think that it would dart the Grief to get a -1 counter on it, and I would push the Soulscar Mage in response to prevent that -1 counter. Do you feel like I can kind of just chill a little bit? I think I'll probably end up hearsing the Dart on their turn. Especially because like it's just somewhat likely that they could like cast a spell, get delirium, that we just end up keeping them off delirium here. Okay, so I guess we just are gonna let them dart first. So let me block a channeler, since these are gonna be a little bit trickier to block. Maybe I should have edicted first. They dart me? Using Hearse after text juicy. Yeah, I think I messed up the Hearse tap for sure. They find another lava dart, which is pretty ideal for them. Let's go ahead and let them flash this back. Down to one land, which is really nice. A lot of their scary top decks, like Breach, Iteration, Flame of Anor, are no longer scary at all. They're just going to go into the graveyard. They keep a card on top, which is interesting. I'll definitely be fielding it away. So we're gonna take 1 and then 4 more, down to 6 life points. I should have also edicted before they attacked, or before I blocked rather, so that they wouldn't just sack whatever I ended up blocking. That's okay though. That we're in very good shape. I'm gonna also end up fielding them, so that we shuffle the card they kept on top. There's also 2 basic mountains in the yard. They played a 3rd basic mountain last game. I don't do this main phase because, yeah, unless they kept basic mountain on top, I don't think we get very punished. They draw lightning bolt. We can crew the hearse to at least not take any damage this turn. Why take the damage before the edict? I just got done saying this, but I should have done it before blocks. I didn't do it before blocks. So if I edict in combat, they're just gonna sack whatever the grief is blocking. So I'm just kind of throwing it away. So I need to do it after at that point, but I should have done it before I declared blocks. So a couple mistakes that turn. It's kind of a complicated turn. We are 204. I need to keep this on the play and the blind. Fatal Push is just so good right now too. It just feels like the Sultai Wreck deck. It just felt so good to be on push over any red removal. So my opponent's playing Murktide. Let's take this expressive iteration and push their creatures. Field them off red mana, maybe. The main purpose of it. The main purposes is the ability to switch to the backup deck without any downtime for mana traders. I love mana traders. I still have my mana trader subscription for Aspiring Spike, but being able to just be like, we don't have like the 5 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever it takes to switch to the backup deck is now just 20 seconds. That's nice. It makes the stream better, and also I get to have whatever art editions I like, and I think that makes the viewing experience a little bit better. And the third purpose is that yes, it does reduce stream snipers. This is certainly something I am thinking about when deciding which of the 2 accounts to use. Did we just take the stock list and cut Sheoldred? The stock list? One thing is I maybe built the black no coffer stock list. Maybe that's what you're talking about, but I don't know. I've been working on this one for a while. I haven't seen many Caustic Bronco Kaervek lists, but it wasn't the most complicated to build, I guess. Probably ending up around the same point most people are, I guess. We'll push now before the period end resolves. But if you're comparing it to the Shielded Ring deck that we were playing a lot of, it's really different. The mana base is different. We're playing Hive over Castle Lockdwain. You don't have Ring either. We have Shielders in the sideboard. Is the Bronco better than Dark Confidant 2/2 over 2/1? Just asking, that suggestion. Yeah, Bronco's a lot better than Dark Confidant. The second toughness matters a lot, and the fact that it can also just dome your opponent is like surprisingly really big deal. Probably want a main phase. Field plus push. Snow cover lands are kind of funny here. My opponent's hand is Lightning Bolt, Snow Covered Island, Stern Scolding, 2 mystery cards. One of those 2 mystery cards was a Spire Bluff Canal. And the other one is a Ragavan. So we know their exact hand at the moment. Thankfully they don't flip like a Thoughtseize. So they could Scolding my Bowmaster. I wonder. I really want to try to save Sheoldred's Edict for top deck Murktide. So I think what I should do is I should just cast Voidwalker into the Scolding, and then take another hit from Ragavan, and then use the Bowmaster to clean up Ragavan, so I can save the Scolding for a Murktide. Maybe my opponent could recognize this as bait. Yeah, I am qualified for Dallas. Opponent does smell the bait. Yeah, am qualified for Dallas, and really need to prep. Really need to prep. But I also have like a busy couple like weekends. Like I'm going camping for a friend's birthday this weekend. I'm going back to Ren Fair next weekend, and then the weekend after that's Dallas. But I'll find the time. We'll make it work. Okay. So bolt down minus the island. The main phase the Bowmaster, with the intention of baiting the Stern Scolding. HTO, 3 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Not qualified for the haircut. More like lack thereof. I don't know. I think I am gonna get a haircut soon. Maybe before Ren Fair. Maybe before camping. Yeah. So it's 3 weekends from now. The tournament. Growing out wild, man. I don't know. I'm kind of. It's just at like an awkward length again. So I don't know if I'm gonna stick it out at this point. So they're real channelers. So they have Scolding, Ragavan, mystery card in their hand. Two weeks, darling. Well, 2.5 weeks, right? I'm just counting weekends. Like it's like I have 2 weekends, and then the weekend after that is the tournament. Yeah. When I say I'm not gonna chop it all off, I'm just gonna get it styled. I think a little bit, because I've kind of lost the plot with the hair a little bit. So they just have a Stern Scolding. Yeah, I'm glad people are working on Freezer to Lookout and Legacy. I saw Jarvis post about it yesterday. Definitely a card that I like. I just, don't play enough Legacy to really build around it. Trim a couple inches, you got the redo thing going on. Yeah, I mean, that's where I was at. I don't know, I think I just kind of want to style it a little bit more and figure something out. Did you Murktide? Dang, my opponent who had both Dragon Rage's channelers live really has drawn so well. Yeah, so there's a 5/0 vintage deck with Lookout. Yeah, I'm really happy to have found Lookout. I'm really happy people are picking it up. Legacy with Rashad and Port and Wasteland sound, and like maybe potentially Mishra's Bauble and Urza's Bauble sounds pretty sick. Game 2. Very well disciplined Stern Scolding. The best Stern Scolding is the one you never cast. That being said, our sideboard plan is pretty good. We've got Sudden Edicts and Unlicensed Curses. Usually cut my Voidwalkers against Murktide. And then I think I'm going to cut the third Kaervek. Seems good. Hoping Eldrazi Tron will be good. I think it's going to be really interesting if the, like, you probably do play Tron in the deck, but if you play 4 Temples for Ugin's Labyrinths, 12 Tron pieces, this is 18, or this is 20 lands, you have like 4 maps, and then you just play like 3 basic lands for Field of Ruins, maybe? Alternatively, you can and then at that point, there's not necessarily a lot of room for Urza Saga, and Urza Saga is really good with Ugin's Labyrinth because you can go turn 1 Saga, turn 2 Labyrinth, activate Saga. So I think it's possible that you could end up being like a Tron variant versus just Eldrazi Temple, Ugin's Labyrinth. You could possibly just play all of it, but at that point, that's 24 lands, no basics, 26 lands with basics with 4 maps, just too many mana sources. So it'll be interesting. Yeah, there's also Urza's Cave. So like building these mana bases is going to be really, really cool. And I that's definitely a dynamic I like. You could also just play Urza's Cave. You could just play Urza's Cave and then go play it on turn 3, use Ugin's Labyrinth land, sack it, get an Eldrazi Temple. Just play Tron Temple Saga for 24 lands. Well, you need basics. You cannot just have no lands to search off a field or beside you. You should have 3. You can like get really greedy and play 2, but at that point, it is also just too many lands. You also need 4 expedition maps, so there's just too many mana sources probably, but we'll see. Thoughts on Chalced map, or play both Chalced 1, too detrimental? You could play Eldrazi Tron's been playing both together forever. It's not like the most complicated equation. I don't feel very strongly about it. Okay, poster prelim list to show the main mess looking at. I really. What? Did my opponent just keep a 0 lander on the draw? I like to figure this stuff out for myself. I really like to get a crack at it. I don't know if it's right to just not play basics. It is going to be 100% wrong to not main deck basics in the Beseiju Field of Ruin format. You will need lands to get Beseiju off field. You should not be that greedy. Also, we're not main decking Hearst. That was a sideboard game. Okay, going to game 3. Maybe I should bring in Shield. Maybe I should play Sheoldred over Kaervek. Because like if I can have Hearst, like Sheoldred is just kind of unkillable, which is nice, but it's also 4 mana. Let's keep Kaervek in. Bad keep. Maybe just misclick the keep button, right? He also just maybe misclicked, didn't play Lantern 1. So we have an interesting 1-lander on the draw. We have Hearst, which was one of our best cards. Edict's one of our best cards. We have Push and Thoughtseize. We're on the draw. 23 land deck. Let's get the calculator out, because I'm pretty sure we draw just 1 land. We're in great shape, and it's not a matchup you want to mulligan in. Okay, so population size 53. Sample size, let's say 2 looks at our land. Successes is going to be 22, and we want to find 1. So we're 66% to draw a land. I think we can even miss. I think we can even. Oh, so shit! I should have get this up. What is it if we feel like? What is it if we feel like we just get an extra look? Like, because I think it's probably okay. 80% to draw up by turn 3. Let's keep. Just not a matchup you want to mulligan in super aggressively. Keeps a card on top. Also, drawing one of our 5 Undying cards is also really good because of Grief. So I think that also increases the keep percentage or whatever. I think I'm Thoughtseizing. The snare is really good. Just I could also Grief it, maybe. I'm gonna take the snare. Easy Preordain. I mean, I want to slam my Hearst next turn, so I could do that, and I could Grief pitching one of my pitch a Kaervek maybe, but I just feel like we're just supposed to take the uh just take the snare. They have Delirium, but we can contain the Delirium probably pretty well with our Curse. But one card top, one bottom. I'm gonna do that main phase because of Murktide. Can I explain why I Thoughtseized over push there? Yeah, I thought it was going to be really bad if they had Ragavan, if I ended up just main phase pushing, and I just kind of wanted to contain their number of threats with the Thoughtseize, and then we can push later, and also Hearse. He can potentially make the Channeler a bit worse. I'm down to 13 life already. Them having second Channeler, you know, it's kind of scary. I maybe also should have evoked Grief. Their draws have definitely been pretty good. So I think I'm going to evoke Grief and then pitch Kaervek and try to get a feel for what they got or how to play around this. Yeah, seems like I should play the Bronco and keep their 1/1s contained for now. Down to 9. Gonna go ahead and first my own 2 cards. CK, 27 months. They go come back. Don't want to grow the Murktide. Awkward draw. Yeah, gotta be a little too bad to attack. Gonna do this first. It doesn't really matter between this and push. We cast them both. I didn't realize that clicking this would. I didn't realize that clicking the upkeep would just yield me through the step. I thought that I had already stopped on the step, so it would just keep me stopped. Which I feel like is a pretty reasonable thing to think, but so I think I'm just gonna exile one of the 2 cards in my yard, because if I want to draw a card, I want to be able to target the stuff in my yard. If I want to gain life, I can still just target the. I want to target the Channeler. I guess maybe I could have just targeted one Channeler with the Hearse here. But I think it's time to attack with our Caustic Bronco. We'll be losing the life here, unfortunately. And fortunately, it is just a land. So I'm going to need to gain life with my Cling to Dust. If I hit their heat, the Murktide grows, and I'm at 5, and the Murktide grows to 5 life. We can go in with the Hive next turn. If my opponent keeps a card on top, I'll field them. They did keep a card on top. That's also here, Loco. I am excited about Magic too. Shit seems pretty good right now. Okay, just getting in with the Murktide. The tap Canal. So I'm a mana short of crewing the Hive, the Hearse, and saddling, or sorry, and just never not and saddling. Crew Hearse, saddle Bronco. But what am I drawing to? What I really need to be able to do is escape my Cling to Dust. I'm not really sure how to do that. Maybe if they counterspell this and I draw... No, sorry. No, I don't have enough mana. I'm gonna cast this. Swing, draw, push, let's go. Okay, die and then die to the Murktide in the air. So I think I have to draw the second Cling to Dust. I drew another Field of Ruin. Alright, tough game. Tough game. I think that game was maybe winnable if I had evoked the Grief just a turn sooner. Oh. This is Paul Blart Malcop. This is my I think third Gigantha opponent in 4 matches. Modern would be way better if Gigantha was banned. It's just like it's just so dumb that like half of the decks get to play this card and half of the decks don't. You know what I mean? I'm gonna take the Knight Errant and then Grief the Gleeful Demolition, pitching push. It's kind of interesting that like I don't with complete humility I feel super ahead because like the Boros Prowess deck I think is like one better as Marty was splashing for Bowmaster, but like the Boros Prowess deck is picking up. This is almost like yesterday's news though, where I've played a lot of this deck and I've played a lot of the Collector's Cage deck, and I feel like pretty confidently. Oh, they drew another Gleeful. I feel like somewhat confidently at least that that this deck is worse than the Collector's Cage deck. So we can main phase the Bowmaster. It's just, play around them not responding with the Clue token versus like them playing into it. I think I'm just gonna main phase. Like the Collector's Cage Convoke deck, I think is just like the improved Boros Convoke build. And then I'll probably trade the Bowmaster kind of aggressively so I can like Kaervek it back. Although maybe not this aggressively. Yeah, I think not quite this aggressively just because they have Sunbait Canyon and Clue token. So you just get to stop them from kind of doing anything here. Put Gigantha in their hand. The only reason they didn't get all bent into one fell swoop is because they wanted to borrow what? Drilling 32 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Good top deck for them. Cav 32 months. Yeah, it's just like you don't need to ban all of them. You need to ban Gigantha Kihira. Being banned would make Modern a lot better. But you don't need to ban Umori, Garuda, Zerda, Lutri. But not that anybody's concerned with. So I guess I need the Thoughtseize the Bushwhacker. And then do I also Thoughtseize the Novice Inspector? Then I go down to it's a lot of life to lose. Let me just Thoughtseize here, not bring anything back. Not Thoughtseize again. I feel like what people said about Gigantha, like that was what people said about Gigantha when you were going, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've kind of like been passively in favor of Gigantha ban for a long time, but I'm starting to get more annoyed by it. Just that it just is dumb that you'll build a deck and like 25-30% of the time, just any random deck gets a free random 5/5, and I just don't feel like it should be this way. All right, so let's go block here, take 4 with the intention of buying back the Bowmaster with our Kaervek. How nice that you can do that at instant speed, right? Yeah. Quick double check. Yeah. Like the thing is like campaign they just don't have restrictions. Like Kihira's like, do you just not have creatures in your deck? You get to play Kihira. I think that's really the worst part of that card is how unrestricted it is while just not main phasing. I feel like we can punish this. Because we can Bowmaster at instant speed. Like, are they just gonna not correct their clue? Okay, I commit a crime. Target Bowmaster. I agree with you said before that Gigantha is the best card that will never be banned. Dang, I said that. Well said, me. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't really think that they will ban it, but I think they probably should. It just is really dumb, and I win a lot of games with Gigantha. I lose a lot of games to Gigantha. And I also just kind of play a lot of games in general, I guess. Kaervek is a little annoying. Not much triggers. Next turn I can go Field and Grief potentially. Life total's not. Yeah. Kaervek can cast any black spell from the yard as a token copy. Opponent does not have another basic, notably. Should I just do this? Yeah, I can just Takenuma back Kaervek potentially if they. I should maybe have made them order blockers because Magic Online players really hate to order blockers correctly. So if I draw an untapped land, I can go buy back Kaervek, and then uh and then cast it. But I guess now we're just gonna go cast our Caustic Bronco and then channel back Takenuma end of turn and save the Field of Ruin to commit a crime with, despite the fact that it's kind of nice that we can field them off a land, but they don't really need that land too badly. Yeah, Kaervek is also not once a turn. The 2 life loss, though, it can be rough. Yeah, I think we take Kaervek and then we can cast the other Bowmaster. Might need a land to do it this turn. Although, yeah, it wouldn't work because I would target and then the crime would be already committed. Yeah, let's just chill. Could attack with the Orc Army. Am I okay trading Orc Army for Novice Inspector? I think yeah, I think I am. Say no blocks, that's fine. Have I seen the new Eldrazi Uncommons? The ones that were spoiled 2 days ago, or were there new ones? Man, it's so many Eldrazi. Okay, so going for Grief, I think. So I know they have Gigantha. They should have another spell, or they could have another spell. 2 new spoiler cards. Okay, let's take a look. I have not seen them. I can only Kaervek one more time before my death. Maybe I should take Ornithopter because they just are going to be a land away from Gigantha. But the Ornithopter also doesn't matter that much. Also, Hive of the Eye Tyrant can commit crimes, which is fun. Nissa's Resolve. Inspiring Timmy wins. Sheoldred's in. Edict's out. Tourach's in. Just 2/1 pro white. It's pretty nice. Voidwalker. Click the submit button. Just give me the cards, please. How do I always scroll past them? Okay, Uncommon Enchantment. Kozilek's Unsealing. Whenever you cast a creature spell with mana value 4, 5, or 6, create 2 spawns with the ability to sack for a colorless mana. Cast a creature spell with mana value 7 or greater, draw 3 cards. Probably unplayable. If this could be cast off Eldrazi Temple, I would maybe give it a closer look. Seems pretty bad. Was there another card here? Did not see it. She pushed it from her mind, but the call followed her, mocking her inability to separate reality from unwanted memory. Her hand moved to her sword on instinct. Foolish elf, there was nothing there. Nissa came up short. The thing that she had seen out of the corner eye wasn't a memory. It wasn't Gamazoa? Who the fuck? Either, but it was close enough. The mid-sized Eldrazi had tentacles and a soft, fleshy, sexy body, just like the predator from her past. Where's the second one? Give me second card. Oh yeah, that's the jellyfish. Okay, my opponent has kept. Oh, or sorry, they have gleeful demolition to me. I'm gonna grief them. This card made the cut. Okay, so I'm gonna push if they play Novice Inspector. I'm gonna push in response to the trigger. Although I guess I could push in response to the fetch, but I'll do this so that they can't convoke. Thank you, Simon. Okay, the other one is Wumpus Aberration. When you cast this, it's a 4 mana 6/6 devoid trample. When you cast a spell, if colorless wasn't spent to cast it, target opponent may put a creature card from their hand on the battlefield. So this is mostly a limited downside. Okay, so they aren't convoking. Still pushing. Colorless was not spent to cast it. So 3 mana 6/6 trample is kind of how you have to think about this card, right? Since it's an Eldrazi. Okay, my 2/2 Bronco, much better than Dark Confidant. 2/2 against 6/1/1s. My opponent's top deck the Convoke spell, and the good Convoke spell. Wumpus commits a crime. A hunted Wumpus has. 3 mana 6/6 trample. Is that good enough? They found a Bushwhacker too. Okay, it looks like we are going to game 3 here. I get to be on the play for game 3. I mean, yeah, maybe. Okay, gonna keep this on the play against Boros Convoke. Wouldn't mind a turn 2 6/6 trample with Manador. Yeah, you could go turn 1 Delighted Halfling, turn 2 Eldrazi Temple, or Ugins. I mean, you're probably not playing Ugins Labyrinth so much in these kind of decks, but probably not great. It's just like big, giant, big beefy creatures that are Trample's good. Trample's really good. Better than nothing. That card would have been crazy back in the Bant Eldrazi dominance era, back in the Eye of Ugin era. This card would have been phenomenal. One of the best cards in Modern. But that is not the world we live in anymore. Which is probably for the best. Yeah, I played a lot of Bant Eldrazi and PPTQs, RPTQs back in the day. So I think I'm going to take Thraben Inspector and I'll just also take the Gleeful Demo. Since Reckless Bushwhacker is going to have a hard time surging. I guess I could just draw 0-drop immediately. Rebirth just doesn't have a target right now. There's a couple more Corrupted Shapeshift, Writhing Chrysalis. Yeah, if someone would find it in their hearts to link these cards to me. So they did draw the 0. So nice of them to fetch into my Field of Ruin. So I'm going to attack for 4 and then probably just play my Bronco. Yeah, the band's mirror matches were really tough. The Mirror matches were really tough. I remember Brian Braun doing was like play Elspeth Sun's champion on the sideboard for the Mirror. It also came in a lot of other matchups, surprisingly. I basically just always had two in the sideboard, and you just win the mirrors most of the time. And I remember Brian was like, if you're gonna like all these like blue white lists would play like one Sphinx's Revelation, and Brian would always be like, if you're gonna play a big top end card in your blue white decks, just play Elspeth Sun's champion instead of Sphinx's Rev. I'm like, Brian, you're so right for this. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go Bowmaster, Ping, Bronco, saddle the Bronco, tapping these two. Get in. But a healthy 12 life points. Even if they draw a Bushwhacker, we're gonna go to 2. Yeah, didn't get to deal them any damage. That's okay though. Yeah, Brian Brendan was in the MTGO Masters. It's cool. I got to do a little co-commentary with him this year. It was very fun. Brian was always like when I was a tournament grinder back in the day, like the number one person I like looked to for like deck lists and articles was Brian, and then there was also like Reed and Gab and all the Channel Fireball guys. Caleb D. My first modern deck ever was Caleb D's Grixis Delver deck. I lost my win in the top 8 with my first GP too. Good times. So they're thinking about Sunbake Canyoning Gigantha into their hand and realizing that they don't want to take the damage for that, and they don't want to sack a clue onto my board either. Am I just gonna go double saddle here? I think I should just saddle once. Oh, I also should have tapped Bowmaster over Orc Army probably. Okay, so we made the right play of making sure that this is the one that dealt me damage and this is the one that dealt my opponent damage. Not intentional, of course. My opponent says, I'll go to 1 with the Sunbake Canyon in play. No top decks that get me out of this, probably. I get a 4-1 prediction going. Tapping the Canyon, getting out of there. Lost a close one to a really good Murktide player. It's good at 4-1. Yeah, Nanovo played very, very, very well. But I want to play tournaments with a Aspiring Spike account so that I can. I want to play my tournaments on Aspiring Spike so I can do Mox leaderboard points still. Got some of those. So right now it's like leagues with this one and I'm taking the Searing Blaze. Leagues with this one and then tournaments with the Aspiring Spike. Yeah, I do have a preview card now. I was informed that it was a mistake that I was not on the list, and I haven't been sent it yet, but my preview date is the 24th. I think I might actually just grieve here. And it was a mistake. It was definitely a mistake. Yeah. Thoughtseize on top. Guess I can Thoughtseize the skewer. They drew this return. Well, don't have another play. Pretty flooded burn opponent. 2 Inspiring Vantages and a Scalding Tarn. Helix is me. Do you think the new blue card will be any good with pitch elementals? Brother, you gotta say more than the new blue card. Please describe the card to me. I'm just kind of thinning their library here, I guess, but also thinning mine. I'm not that good. I'm not that good at my job to know what you mean when you say the new blue card. I guess I have main phase because of Searing Blaze, although their last card is also just a land, so that doesn't matter, so I'll draw step. Eldrazi Temple. I mean, that one's even devoid. It's not blue. I don't know. I don't think it'll be super good. Okay, opponent's ripping a lot of burn spells, which makes sense because they were, you know, kind of out of lands. Wait, top deck, Cling to Dust, baby. Let's fucking go, dude. Just ripping the best possible. Do I draw a card or do I? I think I'm just gonna draw a card off the second Cling. I could draw Hive of the Eye Tyrant, so I want to do a main phase. The thing is, if I target my own grief, I'm like down an extra card, so I'm like pretty far away from escaping again. And 8 is pretty high. It's kind of okay. We just ping and block. You want to play the land fast and attack fast, so it looks like you have nothing. And then I'm probably supposed to block with Bowmaster and not the Orc. This way, I get another card in the yard for Cling to Dust. Obviously, I'm worse against top-decked Canopy lands, but I feel like the extra card in the yard seems to be more relevant. I think the blue flare is on par with Force of Negation. I don't know. Like on par with is an interesting term. It's very good. It'll see a lot of modern play, and people will be very annoyed with it really fast. Is my prediction. Yeah, that's my. I think my opponent's drawing like 5 or 2 second. Although I guess I have to target my own creature, huh? I don't think it's better. I don't know. You can not think it's better. It has different deck building restrictions, but it's more powerful. Like let's talk about it some more. Like for flare of counterspell, whatever this card is called. Hopefully this is Helix, because I'll just sack my Voidwalker and Helix them. It's Boros Charm. Dude, my opponent is ripping, dude. Thoughtseize not a very good draw when I'm at 2 life. Well, do I leave Orc Army back to block a Goblin Guide? I think yeah, probably, because I only need to attack with this once. Let's talk about Flare can counter any spell, not just non-creature spells. That is really good. That matters a lot. You have to sacrifice a creature instead of pitching a card. Pitching a card is better, but you can also do it on your turn. They both have the same casting cost. The card is just super castable. I think it is going to be pretty dang good. Wow. Cool game. And I think cards gonna be pretty dang good. Let's get these Kaerveks out of here. Sudden Edict, a little bit better than Sheoldred's Edict. Want to have like 4 of these, especially with Sanctifier being relevant. Probably trimming a couple Broncos. No, you can keep Thoughtseizes in. Obviously, they're like a little dopey, but they're gonna have like Sanctifiers and stuff, and they're like just kind of barely worth keeping in. But like it's not like I have like 10 life gain cards on my sideboard to cut these Thoughtseizes for either, you know. There's just not like I'm not gonna bring in Ashiok. I think having too much removal can be a huge problem. But I think the blue flare will be really good. Exactly how good it will is still, of course, to be determined. Just go to game life main phase because of Skullcrack. Okay, Screw Skewer has Boros Charm mystery card. We can field to maybe keep them off of white mana, and also maybe just denying the Sunbaked Canyon matters a lot. I can't think of non-token blue creatures I like to sack besides Merfolk and Fly Archaeologist. I'll figure it out for you. Don't worry. Archaeologist, Snapcaster, Spellstutter Sprite. There's like a kind of long list, but I think you could also play it in like Esper, like Satoro style shelf. That makes sense. Where you're like you're using Aether Vial, you're vialing stuff in, you're sacking it to Flare of Cultivation. So we're going to go down to 6 and down to 4 after we Bowmasters, which is pretty scary. We've been top decking pretty dang well. Yeah, there's also Narcomoeba, Prized Amalgam, and like these more graveyard focused shells. Just the Merfolk shells too seem pretty good. I almost feel like people kind of just they drew Skullcrack? Okay. Do I attack? If I attack, they go to 8 and down to 6. Yeah, then they're just dead to the attack next turn. I guess I put myself dead to Searing Blaze, where right now I'm not dead to Searing Blaze. It's okay. You could also like evoke Subtlety and then like sack Flare to like kind of like 3-card Force of Will, which is not going to be the best, but not going to be the worst either. Okay, so I'm not going to Bowmaster into the Eidolon at this point, now that they've shown me they've top decked the land. So this will set up for Escape Cling, but I'm also going up to 5. Ooh, pretty scary. I think on the draw I do want one more Edict. Could go down 1 more Bronco. I don't know. I kind of don't know. Like, the fact that people are not going crazy about Flare of Denial is just kind of wild. I think the card is going to be. I think it's going to be really good. It's not just strictly better than Force Negation, of course, but it has a lot of advantages over the card, and I think it'll see a lot of play. It's also, again, the thing too is it's also just so hard castable. It's kind of hard to overstate just like how hard castable these cards are. Yeah, also Flare of Cultivation and Grazer is going to be very good. I also kind of like the idea of going Elvish Piper or whatever the one draw. It's not Elvish Piper, Elvish something that puts a basic land into play, because you want to play a lot of basic lands with Flare anyways. I think you could build a mana base that's like 20 basic lands, 18 basic lands, 16 basic lands, 4 Flare of Cultivation, a bunch of like 6 bounce lands, 7 bounce lands, and 6 or 7 bounce lands, sorry. And then the 8 Grazer slash this card to just like ramp into One Ring. I think it'll be pretty nice. We're just tired of free counter spells. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you. So here comes the Rift Bolt off suspend. I'm gonna go for the Sudden Edict this turn. Plus my opponent maybe main phases the Sunbait Cane and Crack. Yeah, the fact that there are no turn restrictions on the flares, I agree, matters so much. Okay, so they're going after my Grief, which is, pretty dang good for me, I think. Tide of Free Spells period, yeah. I like, I think for like all the grief and no pun intended, for all the grief that people give Modern Horizons 2 about free spells, it's like only Grief is like really proactive. The green flare, and I think the blue flare will also it'll play way more proactively than the Force of Negation will, I think. Although maybe that's not true. Force of Negation played really proactive with Violent Outburst for a long time. Okay, just a Searing Blaze for 1. Let's field one of the 2 canyons at this point, then play a Hive. I don't know. I'm pretty. We also just haven't seen the Mardu flares. I would love to get a flare, by the way, but we haven't seen the Mardu players. Like, if they're also proactive, it's like the black one especially. Like the fact that black just has so many good creatures to sacrifice is gonna matter a lot. So we're at 10 life. We're at 10 life, and we got them on a nice 2-turn clock. Feeling kind of good. Pizza, 38 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Okay, so 4 Wonder First League on the day. Deck's looking good. Let's do one more, and I also want to. So I want to play a League of the updated